All right, welcome back to Week 3, Episode 3 of the Bald Brothers Panther Preview. I got my guy in here, Eugene Robinson. We were talking, man. My blood pressure's high right now, man. I don't know. I need the doc to check it because
I can see some sweat coming from the top of your head, brother.
You see it? How are you doing after 2 weeks of watching the Panthers play?
Yeah, I tell you what, it was very, very tough. I thought the first game was a tough one. I thought the second game in the first half was crazy. It was so uncharacteristic for what I thought they would be able to go ahead and go ahead and be. And it was, I mean, if you really think about it, if the Cardinals don't have those 12 penalties of what they had, they end up blowing the Panthers out.
They wanted the Panthers to win the game.
Oh, absolutely. Because towards the end, now when the Panthers, and to our credit, we came back that second half, came back, boom. There was a lot of mistakes on the other side of the ball that helped us to go ahead to continue drives and things of that nature. So we were good. When you have a turnover in the first half, if it's at least a touchdown, if it's an interception, any type of big play. Don't forget we had the strip fumble for a touchdown and an interception. It changes things. It changes your psyche. It changes what you think. And getting off to a bad start really hampers you, and it's hard to overcome interception or fumble, let alone an interception or fumble for a touchdown. Hard to overcome that.
Let's dive into Week 3. So the Panthers back in the bank, Week 3 against a division rival, the Falcons. I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know the Falcons on defense, and they drafted high on defense in the draft, if they're that good or if Minnesota's that bad. But that's besides the point. What is the disconnect? You know what? Let me not start with Bryce. Let's start with the guy that we just talked about before we got on the stream. Xavier Legette. You spoke with Dave Canales, Coach Canales. Is it time to bench X? Because he's not being productive right now. The eye test, I'm sorry, Carlene, University of South Carolina guy, but he's not being productive.
No, Coach Canales has spoken to the press about XL and also the team. They have his back, all right? Because this is what we know from just being a player. Every player kind of goes through a slump, and you're looking to kind of get out of that slump. Yeah. Now, if we all pour on you, you ain't getting out that slump. All right, so I get what he's doing, and I get why he's behind him, because he is a talent. There's no doubt about that. He's a talent. He has incredible size, 6'3", 220. Dude, he's going to run you over. He's going to do all that stuff. But it hasn't materialized in those 10, 12 targets with only -2 yards. It doesn't look good, right? And his play doesn't look good, but here it is. That really is right here in your head. Yeah. And now what does Coach Canales is trying to do? And this is what I applaud him for. And this is just real talk here. This is what I applaud him for. I applaud him for he's standing behind him, because if he doesn't stand behind him, who's going to feel that first? It's going to be Legette. Who's going to go ahead and maybe get down in the dumps even more? It's going to be Legette. So how do you get out of that? You have your number one guy, the head coach, go like this: hey, dude, I believe in you. I believe in you. And so that is the formula how you get a guy who's maybe not playing well to play well. And don't forget, coach is going to still target him. So not only is he going to put his money where his mouth is, I mean, what he say, he's going to back it up, because he's going to target. He's going to put him in situations to go ahead to get him to rock and let him flourish. And so from that standpoint, coach is behind him. So I'm a player, and I know how guys get in slumps. And for that way, how you get out of the slump, you got to have people rally behind you. It's not enough for you going, I'm going to do better. I'm going to stay after this, that. But when I know that, man, you believe me? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. All right. I know that you believe in me. And I know that, Bryce, you can throw me the rock. I'm not going to drop it. Bryce, I'm going to get my foot down. Bryce, I got you, Bryce. I got you. Just throw me the rock. All right? Do you believe in me? Yeah, I believe you. I'm going to throw you the rock. That's what you want to happen.
He believes. I watching the games, I can see Bryce believes in Tedero McMillan, because he's been balling the past couple of games. He even believes in a guy, Bryson Tremaine, number 87, was out there catching some big balls. Hunter Renfrow is there. He's making plays.
And don't forget Sanders.
Jatavian Sanders played a good game against the Cardinals. I guess for me, how do we get to a faster start? Because this has been the theme with Coach Canales and the team. What are you seeing? My eye test, and I'm not a player. You are a former player. They don't look prepared. But what are you seeing? Why are they getting off to these slow starts?
So, first of all, in the game against the Cardinals, the offensive line, all right, so they got beat on the offensive line, and so now Bryce, people talking about, man, he fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
Dude, you're going to somebody's going to dislodge the ball from you if you don't see that coming from the backside.
Yeah.
And then you feel it, and you're trying to escape it, and you're trying to get out the way. So, first of all, it starts with the offensive line.
Okay.
It always starts with the offensive line.
The interior is beat up?
It's beat up, right?
Yeah.
Don't forget, Corbett's out. Hunt is going to be out. Savalas goes in. Cade Mays is going to be probably handling the center duties.
Which they did play a little bit better with Cade Mays.
They did. Towards the end of the season, they played really well.
Yeah.
Bryce played really well with Cade. So you got that. But it doesn't excuse the offensive line, if you will, because that's where it starts. That's why we're trying to breach the offensive line. That's why we do blitzes. That's why because the offensive line is that formidable, having the two guards, the two tackles, the center, and that tight end down there, and then you got a back in the backfield and maybe a fullback or another tight end in there. There's a lot to breach. There's a lot to go through. And so it starts with the offensive line. So I'm going to put it on first, not only on the receivers, because you can't give them to throw the ball to the receivers yet to run a route. It has to start with the offensive line. And that line is beat up, but that line with the people they have coming in, they have tons of game experience to go ahead and to not have a breach. And that's what I'm expecting. And that's what Coach Canales is expecting. I'm like, dude, how do you stop a slow start? Offensive line, you got to protect. You got to protect.
And Eugene, I guess, provide some context for us. The first 10 plays are sort of scripted, right?
Every offense, typically, and I learned this from Mike Holmgren, they're going to have the first 25 to 20 plays scripted.
Yeah.
Done. So when they're running it off, they're looking at situations and sets of like, okay, if we got here, boom, we're doing this, we're doing this. And so that's why they when they do their calls, they cover their mouth so they don't want you to read lips and all that type of stuff and whatnot. So they do all that stuff, but it's pretty much set.
Okay.
So when you start the game, you already know what you're playing. You already know what you're doing. So now it comes down to, and this is what football comes down to, me against you. I don't think you can stop me. I don't think if I blitz and I hit the A gap right there, and if you're looking at me straight up, that you're going to be able to block me. I don't believe you can block me.
The Panthers were terrible against the blitz versus the Cardinals. I want to read off a stat just to get how to give you guys.
Go ahead.
Through 2 weeks, Atlanta ranked. I'm talking about the Falcons right now. The Atlanta ranked second in yards allowed and pass defense and points allowed. They're only giving up like 14.
You said Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yes, that's right.
They're only giving up 14.5 points, Atlanta, while sitting fifth in sacks. Again, I don't know if that defensive line is that legit because we're only 2 weeks into the season, but
okay, so let's get into the mind of what the Falcons would be thinking.
Okay.
Because coming off, this is one thing that we know about winning. Winning is contagious. Losing can be also contagious.
Yeah.
And when you're winning and you have the stats that they are both on the rushing stats and on the passing stats, I think 149 and maybe 87 yards, something like that, whatever, 81 yards rushing. When you get building those stats, they're coming into Bank of America Stadium like this. Hey, the Carolina Panthers are floundering. What are they going to mostly do? They're going to try to run the ball. So what we're going to do, we're going to get in the 8-man front, and we're going to show you that we're the real deal, and we can stop the run. Because if we stop the run, we're going to be able to get to that pass.
Yeah.
So that's what they're going to be thinking because they've already stopped the run. They've already done it. So when you already done it, you go ahead and say, oh, and another team is floundering, you go, oh, all right. Your confidence gets up. And so that's what they're going to be doing. They are confident based on their defense, not based on the fact that the opponents they play and whether they were good or bad.
Right.
That's not it. This is what we did to this opponent.
Yeah.
And we stopped them. And we limited yards, passing game and rushing. Now what? That's what they're thinking. That's confidence.
And Atlanta Falcons, I have to point out, they have invested a lot in their defense. They drafted Jalen Walker, guy.
Jalen Walker,
who
guy.
we thought was coming to Carolina.
I thought he was coming to Carolina.
I'm not mad at Teddy Roseman.
No, but I'm not mad at McMillan. So let's make it. Tell the truth. You had two studs, if you will.
Yeah.
I never saw the T-Mac thing happening because I was thinking about Jalen Walker.
Yeah, same,
I'm going, we got to get Jalen Walker. Yeah, we got to get Jalen Walker.
Guy.
Yeah, this is going to be great. But getting T-Mac, man, I tell you what, Coach Canales and Dan Morgan, well done. Well done, because that dude is the real deal.
Hey, he is the real deal.
Real deal.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here on the Ball Brothers Panthers preview coming up next. All right, welcome back here on the Ball Brothers Panthers preview. I'm with my Ball brother.
You know that's right.
And Carlene.
My bad. Yeah.
I'm here. I'm holding it down.
Carlene is here. We're talking about the Panthers. We talked about the offensive side of the ball, how the Panthers can get off to a better start. Let's talk defense. All right, I want to say defense because Bijan Robinson has just been a thorn in the Panthers' side. He rushed for 143 yards last week. 170 against the Panthers in week 18 last season. I don't know if you remember that, Eugene, but he lit it up. I know we got the win, but he lit it up, man.
Dude, I don't know if his name is Bijan.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm telling you, that dude is a generational talent.
Yeah.
The way he runs the ball, and he reminds me a little bit of like a Eric Dickinson type, with that size that he has and that ability to go ahead and cut, but also has the power of a Derrick Henry to run you over if he decides to run you over. That dude is that. He's all that.
Because I've heard the Marshall Faulk comparison.
Yeah, but he's not as Marshall Faulk was smaller.
Yeah, he was small. Yeah,
he's a small dude with that quickness.
Yeah.
Boom. Marshall Faulk. When I think of the Faulk, I think of Thurman Thomas. I think of Barry Sanders. I think of that type of player. Bijan is like, dude, I'm not trying to tackle that dude, man. Dude, he got size. When you have size on you, as he does, and you have that speed, and then that vision, peripheral vision, to hit the hole, to run around you, or to run you over, dude, I'm telling you, that's why he's going to give anybody troubles. He had 143 yards last week, dude, and he can make it look easy.
Yeah,
because he can break it at any time.
And that Vikings defensive line, especially, is no slouch. They have issues on the offensive side of the ball, but on defense, they're not bad. I do want to ask you, as a free safety, how do you contain? Because we're seeing the emergence of a guy like Kyle Pitts at tight end. We have Darnell Mooney and Drake London.
And
You
got Pitts, London, Moody's back in the mix.
Our secondary, man. How do we? Okay, Mike Jack and J.C. Horn playing phenomenal. Two best corners so far, week 2.
Playing well.
But our safety play.
Safety play. I think that's going to really fall on Maury. He's going to have to go ahead and don't forget you got a couple of dudes that's sitting in the cut. Ransom and Damari Richardson.
Okay, but before you go on, should we play that young guy Ransom more? Because I feel like he shines more than a guy like Nick Scott.
So typically what happens is this: a guy gets hurt, or got beat up just a little bit, and then you see Ransom come in, or you see Damari Richardson come in the game, and then you're like this. Now the coach is like, I gotta play you, all right? So now they gotta go ahead and play you because you balling out.
Yeah.
And now they don't want to mess up the chemistry and what's the name.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of got my start.
Yeah.
They gotta play you now. You balling. What are they gonna do? Ransom and Damari Richardson are two guys that could be starting anywhere in this league on any other team. I'm just telling you.
1,000%.
I'm just telling you. I fell in love with Richardson play last year going, dude, who's this dude right here, man? And why is he always around the ball? And why is he a good tackler? This dude's always around the ball. And then when I saw Ransom in preseason, I saw him come up and smack him, man. I was like, oh, my goodness, who's this dude? Who's this dude? And I'm thinking of this, right? I'm like, if I'm Maury and I'm Scott, I'm sitting there going like this, hold up, dude. I better be on my P's and Q's because these cats right here, these cats can ball, and that ain't no lie. Them two dudes right there can ball, and all they need is an opportunity.
Yeah.
And typically, how you get your opportunity on special teams, or a guy gets hurt on a couple of plays, and you have to go in and replace him.
Yeah.
That's why I see that happening.
Yeah.
Because don't forget, I went and picked up Morey. I went and got that dude, so I'm gonna go ahead and have to play him because I believe in him, and I got to go ahead and give him a chance to learn the system and all that stuff. I gotta invest in him, so I just can't take. And don't forget, Scott is a guy from Coach Agero.
Yeah, he's this guy. Yeah,
he's that guy. So I see why. So typically, as those dudes wait their time and bide their time. Typically, when you get in the game, you get in the game because somebody got hurt.
I mean, defense did play better this week. We were on last week. We were on Evero's head last week. About how
I know. They played much better.
They played much better. I do want to ask.
And they stopped the run. One thing they had to stop the run because they weren't good about it. They stopped the run. They did a good job of stopping the run.
Under 100 yards, I believe.
Yes, they did.
Which broke, I believe it was a 7-8 game record, 200 yards, which was
yes, it was
ridiculous.
crazy.
I do want to point out, you mentioned this. I got to give you credit. The young guys, Princely, Nick Scorton, Pat Jones is a new young guy. What did you see from those guys? Because you talked about it week one. We need to see more of the young, new guys.
They're hungry.
Stepped up.
They are hungry. I'm telling you. And I can see why, because I think there's a thing that's of our defensive front. Mm-hmm. I know the front interior linemen. I don't know the linebackers. Wallace, Roseboom. You try to figure out.
I know why you don't know them, Eugene.
I know why.
Because they're not making any tackles.
Because they're not making any plays, right? But now think about if you Prince. Think about you like this.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, if I get in, I'm about to go ahead and murder this.
One sack.
I'm about to go ahead and put some work in. Mm-hmm. That's what I think is wide open. Mm-hmm. I think what's wide open is, like I said this last year about the receivers. I'm like, man, I'm waiting for one of these receivers to take control.
Yeah.
Well, who's going to go ahead and eat? Yeah. You could be the dude. Yeah. You could be that cat, right? I was looking for the guy. You could be that dude. Be that guy, right? Thielen was hurt. Who's going to be that guy that says, oh, I'm waiting for this to go ahead and shine, right? I'm waiting to see what's going to be in that linebacker. And I think it's going to come from that young group.
Oh, man, Princely, I saw him out there, and I said, Eugene was right.
Yep, that dude,
right.
He got some skill, and he showed up in preseason, too. He played well in preseason.
He was he playing a little bit of outside linebacker?
He played some outside linebacker,
I couldn't
yes.
tell.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if his hand was in the ground.
Yeah, and so with our 3-4 system, boom, you take it out. Oh, then also if we run to a 4-2, when we get into that little nickel package, we'll have two linebackers in the middle. So he's a guy that you should be thinking of because now Rosebloom, he had 6 missed
tackles so far this season. Six this season, Eugene.
Dude, I know. And if one of the ones that were really costly, the one with Kyler Murray, he ran for like 30 yards or something. I'm like, man. And here it is, because he's young, right?
Yeah.
And he don't know.
Yeah.
When you're blitzing the quarterback and you're coming up through the A gap and you know that there's no way for that guy to go,
right? What
you do when you're running at him, you slow down. Okay. You don't keep running at him and try to knock him out. Yeah. You just try to make the tackle. See, what you're trying to do is, I'm about to let this dude up, and you're about to knock him out. But all he has to do is like a little move, because once you define what lane you're going and the path you're taking, if he deviates from that path, you're going to miss him. Yeah. So what you do is when you're going to the quarterback, is that you're running fast, but then you gauge it down so that if I have to go ahead and break left or right, I can do it. And then what you do is you don't jump in the air. You just put your hands up and put your hands up. So if he throws it, my hands might hit him, but don't jump in the air, because if he fakes and you jump, he gets you off your feet, he's going to run around you. Yeah. So there's some things that you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. Well, he didn't do some of those things. And
he obviously did not watch the Julius Pepper highlights, because Julius Pepper was really great at tracking down the quarterback, not being fooled by the pump fake.
You can't. Yeah, you and you know what? You just got to slow it down. I like his effort, but you blitzing through there. in your mind, just slow it down so that you can make a cut, because the quarterback ain't going to just stand there.
Right. Before we go to break, I got to ask you, man. I am liking what I'm seeing between Mike Jack and J.C. Horn.
Love it.
What are you seeing out there, man? They locked up a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr., who we thought was going to have.
Dude, you thought he was going to have he was that guy that everybody talked about last year. But like, okay, this cat, he's the dude. He's that cat, right? And I was like, quite honestly, I was kind of scared, going, oh, man, dude, man, if he lines up on, who's going to line up on him? What side he goes to, who's going to take him, right? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because they just played him well. They got in his face. They played him well. I'm going, dude, I'll take that.
I think there was an end zone pass where Mike Jack broke it up. I was like, was that Mike Jack?
That's Jack. He broke up the end zone pass. And don't forget, Coach Everett, what he did was he actually blitzed more with that 6-man package, getting to the quarterback. The quarterback has to get the ball out of his hand. That was also another thing, because last week they picked up the blitz.
Yeah.
This week there's a guy in the face. Now Kyler Murray, you got to get rid of the route.
Man, oh man, they're going to have their hands full with a guy like Drake London. He's been in the league for a few years now, but I believe in Mike Jack. I believe in J.C. Horn. I believe in Shaw Wade Smith, or Shaw Smith.
Yeah,
I always mix it up. My brain. I always mix it. My bad, guy. I'm sorry.
I know, but he's good.
He's good.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. I want to get into some quick hitters after the break. We're going to step aside for a little bit. You're watching the Ball Brothers Preview, Episode 3, Week 3. All right, welcome back here on the Ball Brothers Panthers Preview, Episode 3, Week 3. All right, Eugene, you know how I do it every week on the back end of the show. I hit you with some quick hitters.
Sounds good.
Are you ready?
Ready.
All right. Ready! I had to do it. Cam,
I like that.
In order for Cam. All right. I gotta. Okay, while we're here, most iconic in your time playing quarterbacks and their cadence. Which one? I know Cam is ready. You know, Dak. I forgot Dak's thing.
What was the quarterback from? He played for the Eagles and he did commentating for a very, very long time.
Was it Jaws?
Jaws.
Okay. Ron Jaworski. He did that?
Yeah, it sounded like that.
Oh my God.
And I was that sound. It was like, that's what I remembered, like that screech.
Oh my goodness. Because you can hear it sometimes on the play-by-play, and it's just like, man, that's what they sound like.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
man.
You know what, Cam's, his cadence game is really nice.
Yeah.
Typically, if you could get a guy to jump off sides, you got to have a great cadence game. And Cam was pretty adept and astute at getting people to jump off sides.
Man, we have to get Cam on the show. Come on, Eugene. Yeah. You know Cam.
Yeah, I know him, but there you go.
All right.
I know. Hey, yo, Cam, we gonna put it out there, man. Come on.
Cam,
come on. I know you're not the 4th and 1, dude. Come on the podcast, man.
To the studio.
Holla at your boy. Come on the podcast.
Take a break from First Take.
Here you go.
All right, let's get to these quick hitters. All right, so who has the most pressure on them going into Week 3?
Bryce Young.
Okay.
Bryce Young. Bryce is. He's the leader of this offense, and how Bryce goes, the team goes, and he has to play exceptionally well. He has to be able to overcome, even when there's a mistake on the line, he has to be able to overcome that. And so it's going to be Bryce.
Okay.
No doubt.
He did throw for over 300 yards.
Yes, he did.
Last week. Are we expecting to?
But see, Coach Knox always says, when you win, there's so much there for everybody, but when you lose, there ain't nothing there for nobody. Nothing. So even if you can throw up that stat, right?
Yeah.
You threw this stat, nobody cares because you lost.
Does he look like a franchise quarterback?
I think he does.
Okay.
I think the fact that he's small, the diminutive size, you go like this. Oh man, he ain't Stroud. He don't look like. But what he does, and what I'm amazed at, because I study quarterbacks for a living. He finds the windows. Remember when Baker Mayfield was here? One of the things that we said about Baker Mayfield is because he was smaller, we said, man, the ball's getting knocked down. It's going to get batted down.
Right.
You never hear that about Bryce.
No, I haven't seen it.
Why? Because he finds the windows. He's able to kind of flow back there and find those natural windows to throw the rock. And I'm going like this. Well, if they're big and they're in his way, I can't tell because he's doing a great job now. Receivers got to help him out. You got to catch the ball, no doubt about that. Get your feet in, Legette. You got all that type of stuff. But I think Bryce Young, no doubt.
He might be one of the better at his size of throwing across the middle. The best I've seen since a guy like Drew Brees, and that's saying a lot.
That's saying
Drew
a lot.
Brees is a small guy, but he would throw the ball in the middle. A lot of smaller quarterbacks don't do that.
But Drew Brees is my height. I'm right at 6 feet, and he's just a little bit taller than me.
Okay.
But you don't notice it.
Yeah.
But you won't notice when you're sitting next to Drew Brees. You go like this, going, because I was with him this past draft, going, man, Drew, you're a little taller than me, man.
I thought he was okay.
No, he's not.
But Eugene is not a short guy.
I know, but for a quarterback at 6 feet, don't forget you got dudes who are 6'6".
Yeah. And Bryce is like my height.
And Bryce about top 5'10"ish.
If that. Next quick hitter. Any bright spots that you're seeing on the roster right now?
T-Mac.
Okay.
T-Mac is everything that we thought. Let me tell you why. Because he caught the rock the other day, boom, and then set the dude up, defensive back coming up. Boom, hit him with an inside move. Boom, spun to the outside, picked up the first. I'm sitting like this. Dude, who is this cat?
He hit him with the hezzy. He
hit him with the hezzy, dude. Dude, I'm just telling you. And I'm sitting and going.
Lost his neck.
That dude, he catches the ball well. He's a big target. He's going to start to get double teamed. Once he continues on this path, he's going to start getting double teamed. And then it's going to open up for somebody else to eat.
Hopefully that's Xavier Legette.
And that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it.
Go ahead.
Jalen Coker if he gets back.
But and we still have a couple of more weeks. But Bryson Tremaine, I like.
Oh, you like him? Yeah.
I like that young guy.
So there's not enough football to go around, and typically you'll have some super duper star have 100 catches, and another guy's going to have maybe 40, 50 catches. There's going to be 38. It's going to dwindle down like that. I'm looking for that second guy because T-Mac obviously told me that he's a guy.
I believe in him.
He's a guy.
I believe in him.
He's a guy.
X factor for week 3.
I think that's going to come down to Cade Mays.
Ooh, okay.
Because he's taking on for Corbett, and he's going to be the guy who's going to be hiking the ball. And I think that all the stuff that happens from the cadence and how you what do you want the ball placement, all that stuff is going to be on him. And don't forget, the D linemen are going to be they'll be right there. Yeah, go ahead. What? It's going. Yeah. I wonder. So I think he's going to be one of the most important X factors in the game. The center and quarterback exchange.
Ooh, okay. One more. Okay, what does Bryce need to do to prevent another multi-turnover game? It's just it feels like throughout the game he's digging himself out of that hole. How do you prevent the turnovers?
So, Bryce, when you are running and you're scrambling, slide. You don't have to run anybody over because what they're going to do is try to punch the ball out. So what you need to do is go ahead and slide because once you slide, you get protection. Boom. All right? That's one. 2, when it breaks down in the pocket and you get that sense when it's breaking down, 2 hands on the ball.
Yes.
2 hands on the ball. You've already got a reputation in the first game and the second game of he's going to fumble the ball.
Yeah.
You don't want to continue that, so you got to go ahead and 2 hands on the ball. When you're out in the open and you're running, if anybody gets near you, 2 hands on the ball and slide or get out of bounds.
Last time I checked, he did not have Kawhi Leonard hands where he can just.
Yeah, he ain't got no Michael Jordan.
Yeah, he don't got no Michael Jordan hands.
He ain't got no Dr. J's. He ain't got no Dr. J's up here.
Nah, 2 hands on the football.
2 hands on the ball.
2 hands on the football. And we're always going to have 2 hands on the football because, look, we're leading you, navigating you through this season. You like how I did that right there?
I like that.
We were navigating you through the season. Thank you guys for engaging with us. I posted clips on social media. We posted our digital team. Thank you guys for watching. This is week 3 of Ball Brothers Panthers preview.
You know that's right.
My guy, my ball brother, Eugene Robinson,
Holla.
And Carlene Bragg.
Hi,
go ahead, CB.
CB.
Go Bragg.
I'm
CB.
Go Bragg. Go Bragg.
You can find
Go
us
Bragg.
every Thursday, 9 p.m. only on WCNC Plus. Again, every Thursday, WCNC Plus, 9 p.m. Thank you guys for watching.